Hello and welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by a couple of poor things, well, one poor thing, myself, Ben, and I am reviewing none other than a film that I've been eagerly anticipating due to, first of all, the cast, the director, none other than Yorgos Lanthimos. I apologize if I butchered that, but possibly one of the most interesting directors working today. If you've seen any of his work, you would know exactly why. There's no point me getting into it, but it is The Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Favourite, and I guess probably one of his most talked about films that is severely underrated is Dogtooth, but it is none other than Poor Things, starring Emma Stone, which plot-wise I'll probably say the least amount possible. But if you have seen the trailer or read the original novel, which is written by Alistair Gray, I believe it was. It is essentially like a female retelling of Frankenstein in a way. It's basically about a female character named Bella Baxter who is brought back to life by an odd scientist that some would say. And odd is probably putting it likely, but it is played by Willem Dafoe, who is Dr. Godwin Baxter. Funny name, God. But I don't know where to start about this film, to be honest. If you're familiar with Yorgos's work, you know they are, or all of them are unorthodox in possibly the most interesting way, in the way he shapes his stories and the way they look. And this film is no different. And it's actually probably his most impeccably constructed film that you'll see. Like obviously, it's very unorthodox. Like Killing of a Sacred Deer, Lobster, are very odd films, but this film's just unorthodox in the way it displays itself. It's obviously set in a previous time in London, and then even in Paris and Athens as well. But the production design, the costume design, is just like some of the best work you'll see all year, to be honest. It is such an interesting look, and it kind of is elevated by the cinematography of the film. There's a lot of it. First of all, it starts off black and white naturally, which I know I've spoken about that previously in our Maestro review. That black and white's such a hard thing to film and to make it look good on screen, and they've done an impeccable job here. But the use of the fisheye lens is such an interesting technique to use, because it is such an odd thing. You don't really see it often in films, and they've used it incredibly well here to evoke such like an uncomfortable feeling. Obviously, the actual film itself is quite an odd premise and very on the nose, and can be hard to watch at times, but the use of the fisheye lens and even the saturation of the film is almost put to a extreme high. But it's also one of the most beautiful looking films of the year, by quite a long shot. There's no film that I've seen, to be honest, that quite looks like it. But the screenplay itself by Tony McNamara, who Yorgos worked with on The Favourite, which was an impeccable film. Tony's an Australian screenwriter, and I would love to see this film again, because there is so much quick-witted dialogue that's raunchy, that's inappropriate, and to be honest, fucked up, that I would love to see, because I was genuinely laughing majority of this film, and if I wasn't laughing, I was kind of, glaring through my eyes of what I was witnessing. And I would love to watch it again and just kind of pick up on all the dialogue that I missed. But it's such an incredibly tight script. It obviously deals with the film itself, as I just touched on, is hilarious, but it's extremely serious and poses some questions about the world, which is, obviously what freedom is, capitalism, and kind of recognizes how fucked up the world is. But it's really brought to the main from the incredible, probably the career best performance of Emma Stone, and by a long shot, I mean, I'm a big Emma Stone fan. La La Land's probably one of my favorite movies, and obviously she won Best Actress for that. But the subject matter of the film and what it displays is hard to look at, and it is quite fucked up. But she brings such a curiosity and kindness, and empathetic performance, and the whole film is kind of, I guess, sexually liberating, obviously for women in a way. But the actual performance of Emma Stone is not to be played down here. Lily Gladstone's obviously impeccable come Killers of the Flower Moon, but the way this performance is handled is unbelievable. You're obviously dealing with essentially the best way I can put it is that her character is a grown woman who has the brain of a toddler who is aging at a rapid pace and obviously taking in all that there is in the world. And obviously there comes with the performance that mental side of things where you're obviously aging and you're obviously in a female body, but an adult female body, but the physicality to the role is unbelievable, and she's probably at her best here, and it's a career-defining performance for her. I would not be unhappy if she did win Best Actress or wins a few awards along the way, along with Lily Gladstone. I think they're probably my two favourite performances, but I got to give props to the supporting cast here as well. Like Mark Ruffalo is unbelievable as Duncan. He is probably having the most fun I've ever seen him, and it's probably one of his. Obviously, you've seen him in like Zodiac and Spotlight and things like that, but he's got great comedic relief and great comedic timing here, which is just unreal to watch. And I mean, the best supporting actor, the supporting actor side of things, come awards time is going to be stacked. But I would not be upset if I see him win it. And even Willem Dafoe, who plays, as I said before, Dr. Godwin, is also fantastic. And the prosthetic side of things for his character is at the top of the game. But I also got to give massive props to Rami Youssef, who it's actually one of his first performances, and he plays Max McCandles, I think it was, who is Bella Baxter, Emma Stone's husband in the film. And he's a well-known comedian, but it's his first kind of, not so much leading role, but heavy role in a film, and it is just, he's unbelievable. He brings such all the male characters in this film are obviously drawn to Bella and aren't necessarily the greatest of human beings, and Rami brings such a humility and kind-heartedness to the role itself. But man, everything here is like everyone at the top of their game. Like Yorgos, as I said, he's constructed an impeccable looking film and an incredible film nonetheless, which has a lot to say, but it is also a great time. It's obviously he's one of his weirdest films in the sense of its visual style and its obviously subject matter, but the performances, everyone here turning in career best performances, and obviously the craft of the film itself is something to behold. I do recommend seeing this in theaters and seeing it as soon as you can, because it is beautiful. I did like it. I don't know who to recommend it to personally, because it is a very, very odd film. I did hear the two ladies behind me in the session say that's one of the worst films I've ever seen, and I did laugh because I can imagine that people will either love or hate this, and it's very much similar to Saltburn for me. Like, I absolutely adored Saltburn. It's one of my favorite films of the year, but it's just one of those odd films that I think the general audience may or may not get around. It's extremely odd. It's extremely interesting. It's extremely hard to watch, but man, I give everyone praise here, and it is definitely one of the best films of the year, and rightfully so. The Golden Globe noms came out last week, and I think it was nominated for 8, the second most, just behind Barbie, or I believe so. Definitely deserves it. Impeccable film by all means of the stretch. But if you have seen it, I'd love to know what you think. Comment below. I might be on the out of here. Comment below. Give the video a like and subscribe for more.